Voice chat knows. What stock is that again? Welcome to Read the Room with Unc. What is up, everybody? This is Unc coming at you with Read the Room. About a month into this, me and Professor are definitely perfecting our process in the new RTL Academy room. Um, to be honest, if you've been in there, it's been an amazing journey. Uh, Too much good stuff. I can't think of a bad one yet, to be honest with you. Um, Main focus we have now is kind of how to organize this stuff because there's a lot still coming at people. So we are refining the process here over the probably the next month or two. So bear with us as we pursue perfection to get you guys the information as best as possible. Um, the first thing we are going to be changing is the hot list. We kind of want it to be more sector based. But you know me, I don't want to just cut things out without letting you guys know. So, real quick here, we'll start this one off just going over last week's hot list of the things that aren't going to be on the new one and kind of a reason why or what we see with them. So let's just wrap real quick. ASRT, we were in the zone, we hit our target. Better fish in the sea. Can, same thing. We were in the zone, we hit our target. Better fish in the sea. CCJ, Professor's Gym. God, Lee. We probably should have charted another line on this by now, to be honest. That 28 level should have already been on the chart. This move has well happened and been gone. Um, that play, though, will be in action and just won't be on the hot list. Clove, same thing. Had a load zone. Came out of it. We're just a little too hot now. DNN, load zone came out of it. We're turning support and resistance. This will actually be on the new one. I'll cover it when we get there. Express, we're just not really liking the memes this week. GRWG was the one. This is kind of why we think we're going to go to sectors. This was, for me, the why we're leaning towards more a sector. This had a nice move for the weed plays, but there was just way better ones. Um, so kind of sticking to one doesn't seem like the best idea when we can just kind of roll into a sector. Hut, Hive, HMC, we'll get to those because I know they're all on the next. IDEX, just a little slow. Kodak had a big move and then another dollar added. Again, just a little warm now. LAC broke that trend line right when we put it on there. It's another one. Um, this is when I put this 24 line or 25 line set an alert. When it comes back, it'll offer a trade. LGHL again moved up out of the zone. These trades just gave us what we want. I guess that's the best way to put them. Um, MQ turning support to resistance right now. Mullins on the list. We'll talk about Niles on the list. We'll talk about lidar play. Came off the line just perfectly. A lot of these 1 bar and 2 bar plays definitely moved above those lines. Plays on ER. We'll talk about it there. Root. Um, just a little lagging. Got a nice move. Maybe just not as much as we anticipated. Sense. 162 to 183, I believe, is on the chart. We've already nailed that 3 or 4 times. Continue to manage this trade if you're still in it. And SNDL we'll talk about. And UUUU, again, we're on that third line. So this is not really like they're bad plays, but the moves that we anticipated when we started have already happened on a lot of these. So we're going to move to something else we can be early on so we can get a larger move than just a scalp or a continuation play. All right, and here's the new hot list. You know me, alphabetical order, no preference here. Cannabis will be large on the list. ACB, I got 5 right now and leaps to summer to 7. It lines up perfectly with volume profile and this level I have on the chart. Trying to get $4 at low $4 ads right now if you're not in this. The only reason I would suggest the $4 ads 4 to 5 is still 25%, and the leaps to 7 gives you continuation. I like that setup. AHT, this is a Zach Morris pump. Professor's on. Real hard for me to chart, so I'm just kind of going off the flow reads here. The flow reads were to 12. I like the 13 level a little different. Kind of makes sense with the pump. Lines up with volume profile perfectly. Just don't really have a bottom floor from the TA side, so we're trusting the flow here on that one. ASRT, ASTR, sorry, my dyslexia kicking in a little bit. This space play, probably the better space play. I got a load zone here with the upper target. Flow suggests that level will be reached. Anything with 3 on this, to be honest with you. BITF is the Bitcoin farms, but they don't farm Bitcoin. They basically do like the services on the side of Bitcoin. So more of handling the customers' needs of people that do actually mine. Both me and the professor kind of think this is a sector that is unknown yet and doesn't necessarily have to move off the price of Bitcoin, just the industry in general. So I think this is a lagging one in the sector. Especially if you look, we have $5 calls right now, $7 calls in May, which line up beautifully with volume profile down here. $3 ads for me should work out fine. DNN, we kind of talked about plays that made it out of the zone. This is turning this resistance into support rather well. The industry is still in a decent spot, and we have a $2 flow read that kind of lines up with the chart perfectly. So we will continue the continuation since that percent is still over the 25% that I look for personally. Man, this one was one of the best technical setup charts out there. Krispy Kremes. The flow is also suggests that we have $20 calls coming, which when I get it that far above an established level, I like. So anything here down below 15, you're probably good, as long as a move to 17 or 20 works for you. EVgo, this was on the hot list a few weeks ago from the 9 to 12 range. We played this. It was actually on my list out of the other room as a 10 to 20, excuse me, a 12 to 20 is what I was looking for. A pretty good substantial range on the chart. It did deliver one time, it kind of came back down. Looking for the same thing to kind of resurface here. Just the upper move back up into this level. Chargers being hot right now. This one wasn't going to make the hot list, but I kind of talked the professor into it. Facebook, he has 280 on the flow. I have 275 on my chart for a gap fill. We both kind of see it the same way. What stands out to me is that there's definitely room above that. This could continuously go, to the 325, to the 350, if it starts moving. A lot like Tesla, the last week, where you just kind of get those moves back to where it should be. Strong flow read suggests, though, you should be able to play this from either the share side on the leaps, or excuse me, the option size on the leaps, or take a small position in shares. FCell, another charger, professor nailed $4 level. I think right when we started the room. After that trade, I kind of established a zone I would trade off of, which is volume profile, and right under $6. Believe this has just strong flow reads. $7 in April, and then 9 on the leaps, which kind of line up well with the chart. So, yeah, another charger we really like. Fro, didn't know what this was till this morning. Charted it real quick. Professor tells me there's 10.5 on April 14. That's the strike. It lines up perfectly with what we got on the chart. So this is one we were definitely interested in. Yeah, I have an RTL box on the 3-year. Yeah, try to find a percentage there. That would be the realistic target, especially with flow reads. This would be a really good setup, especially if we get some, if they walk it up or we get leaps to a higher strike, even the 12 or 13. 12 would be almost 50%. I really like that. Hut, y'all know about Hut. I don't know what more can I say. Bitcoin dependent. That's holding 6 well. Buy 5, sell 6 right now. I think we still get to 8. Flow still suggests 11. It's a great setup. HYMC. This one we finally got the move after hours. I had the 131. You can search chat for that 131. Go up there and search it. And this is just a wait and see. Yeah, we got a big dip. But I just kind of knew the setup was there for a better move. If you look at this chart, it's just holding this level way too well. Definitely a meme social momentum play. Know what you're getting into here. LILM. This is a space play. Electric rockets, I believe. The flow suggests 7, lined up with the chart perfectly. I like anything you can get down here under 4. kind of just an overreaction. We do have some unspecified earnings call on the 31st, so that's next week. So should be in the news. Mullen, is it dead? Is it not dead? I got the $2 level right here. This, if you zoom in on this thing could go down to 165 even. Um, but I'm not too worried about. Come on, I'm not too worried about it. I will add, yeah, 165 right in here. I have two to. This is kind of the zone I'll be playing. Higher lows will always be good. This should be active Monday. I think there's still enough um, interest on both the short side and social side to keep this thing going. If they drop news at all, yeah, this definitely should get going. Follow the option flow; it should tell you where we're headed before anything else. Invis LiDAR play. I was actually on this a couple weeks ago when we were talking LiDAR, and I already had it charted. So that was the bottom line here is kind of what's going off of. Looks like we're establishing a higher low now. Flow says 5. 4 to 5 seems like a good place. I'd rather see 7, but um, definitely looks like we're just making an uptrend here. These guys, hard chart to read because it was pumped last year on Apple Car News. Social's got a hold of it, kind of did work on it. Nile, y'all know about. We've been on it. 75 to $1. It's kind of my play. Um, just scalpable Bitcoin with flow reads that say there's a substantial larger move. Plug fits the EV charge as well. I believe this one had flow reads to 31.35, which kind of bracket my target. Still 10% there, 20% to the top of that. Fits the charger theme. Rocket Lab is kind of the reason we have the sector on there. They have a flight on the first. These things all move together. This thing's bounced off this level so well. Don't really like to see the third test, but if you can get that, I think that's a good spot to add these, especially with the range back. Successful launches usually send these things. Total overreaction. It seems like getting us down to here. Root Professor's Insurance, still just a little slow. Still in the zone. Dollar anything adds for me. SNDL, I got the place to play the zone. This one kind of just fits everything this week. Has ER, it's a weed play, it's social play. It has it all. It has it all. So I just look to buy low, sell high on stuff like this. We could see the 67 area turning resistance into support right now. Flow still suggests dollar moves. Yeah, it's probably one of the better setups for quick scalps. Smith and Wesson. It's kind of the sector me and Professor talked about playing Friday was guns and ammo. Real hard to find stocks though for me around guns and ammo. This setup is not bad, especially with the summer 20 flow reads. You get it down here around 15, I think you're good. I would stop adding before 16, 17. Even 17 is a reasonable target. See, we got an RTL consolidation box right here. Could be a gem down here, to be honest with you. Really could be a gem down here, since there is, upward range to, 30 or 40. And last but not least, Tilray. Tilray talked a lot about why you take profit. This bounced right off my level, came back down and offered another trade, and I kind of missed it. These are just going to be active all week, especially the ones that ran hard on Friday. Speaking of the ones, and that's about it with the hot list. We will go in next to the, my play. We'll review of my quick plays, stuff that I dropped, and not only in Read the Room, but in the room. But Clever was an absolute gem. Was kind of the lagging weed play I found around $1. I'll show you why I was so confident in it here. So we got the first pop, which was great on the rerun, but then we kind of held right here all day. This is your pre-market low, pre-market high, but this is a high day from before, and it didn't even mess with either of those levels. So that's kind of how I knew we were going to get a pump at the end. Did not expect it to go as far as it did. That's why I always like to say you need to just get a percent of a trade, because it will sometimes that happens and you 4x. So 25% of your position, you might not have stayed in that long with the full position. You never know. Or 50%, you might not have stayed in that long. So that was an absolute gem. HOFV, another absolute gem. Came up off the dollar, gave us a couple good spikes to 130, and now it's holding this 110 range. You really just couldn't beat it. And then Vislink, same thing. Came off the dollar, right up to our target. Those are the kind of things I'm looking for. For me, that's a 30% trade, no matter how you cut it. 20-30% you can get out of these. Just safe place to trade, and kind of get your feet wet a little bit. There's a couple of these for this week. A couple of these crappy energy plays I still like. IMPP, it's holding $1.50 level pretty well. I like this one a lot, and as well as SNMP. This is another one of these crappy energies. Holding this 57-cent level too well. I just like both of those with the opportunity they provide down here with a pretty low risk, especially if that sector gets to moving again. Same thing here with KAVL. This is one of Pele's finds, to be honest with you. I just like the way it's holding the 150 level. Second time down here. Doji on the Friday. Really good to see. Any volume, this thing should definitely move, but this is another social play that I think is not done yet. And kind of outside of the sector, outside of the hot list, inside of the sector, Beam, I still like this to 20. It's a charger solar play, which kind of made the professor's notes. This is one of the two that I'm interested in, as well as iSun. Flow read suggests 5 on Friday. We're putting across this 425 line. Look for it to at least make it back to where the flow suggests, if not a bigger move. There's just a lot of range left on this one. I'm playing these for no other reason that the professor sees solar, and his sector reads have been pretty accurate, so I just try to play off of that. And another one of his finds that we're just going to coattail is this VRM. I still like everything about this setup. It's in the load zone for me. If you can get $2 ads, I would strongly suggest you starting a position. This is a complete overreaction play. All right, some quick name drops. Since you weren't there, I'm not going to go over charts though. On the EV side, we definitely looked at Blink, leaps to 40. We did still like that setup. Another EV. We got another EV. DCFC. This is an IPO chart. I needed to see leaps to 12, but it's kind of inconclusive. And then on the space side, RDW, we've got the 885. So 885. Sorry about that. Pivot. Just the flow is inconclusive. That's probably one of my favorite ones. RDW in the space play just doesn't have all the checks and balances that we like to meet right now. VORB. It's another one that is pretty decent in the strikes to 8, 9, 10 in April, May, June. So they're kind of walking it up. Just not good on the TA side as much as it is. Rocket Lab we got. So those are those ones. And then just the random charts we talked about where DGLY kind of met the gun theme, really didn't fit. GNLN. It's a weed play. The socials are pushing it. Stay away. GNLN. We don't like it at all. Talked a little bit about AUY and RIG being great continuation plays. Neo, Rivian kind of being down at the bottom right now on the actual EV plays, and then Fubu and AFRM as the two bigger names that were kind of finding bottom. The general theme right now is trying to find the bottoms. A lot of things got beat to crap. It's going to pick itself up. It's nice to be on those when they find the bottoms. All right, real quick ER run through, just ones that we were talking about, mentioning, kind of come across our interest in case you see them. SNDL, it's on the hot list. So definitely want to watch for that one. XPEV, this was on the hot list, I believe, a few weeks ago. Just kind of looking for continuation out the 30 levels. Be mindful of that. DNA, I know a few of us are still in this right now. kind of want to be mindful on ER. Our $3 ads are looking real good, but we don't want to give that back on an ER hiccup. So be mindful of that. McCormick, I think this is one of the better companies this week having ER. Everything that they do has just been good. Flow suggests 110 on this. So if Professor does call some top end numbers, I would definitely follow. ASTR space play, kind of while we're on the space. Um, I like them this week, especially if we get a dip. I'll buy shares. Play, number one stock I think me and the professor have ever found. Flow still suggests 50. Just higher low still forming. I love everything about it. Love everything about it. But ER this week and 5, which is it's 5 below, not fiver. I always get those two confused. Professor just mentioned this one as an ER he was very interested in. So if there's flow reads to 80, something like that gets called, I'd be mindful of these this week. Not that we're playing them, just like to know, be familiar with why they're going to be mentioned this week, whether it's on socials or in our room. All right, everybody, let's make it 4 for 4 here. Let's have another good week and finish our first month strong. Do I really got to tell you all this? I'm not a financial advisor. Seems unnecessary. Appreciate your time with Unc. As always, respect the lines, but most importantly, read the room.